I'm your host, Sir Birchfield. Here with us tonight on the Darwin Daily Show are some very special guests. Mr. Henford, Mr. Weiland, Mr. Landry, and Mr. Garfield of the Royal Society. Before we begin tonight's broadcast, we'd like to begin by mentioning our condolences to Her Majesty. The Queen of Mr. Henford would like to say a few words of eulogy.
As a member of the Royal Society, it is in my deepest grievance for His Majesty, Prince Albert. Prince Albert was a tremendous supporter of science and faith to this great nation. Let his memory never be forgotten as such. Let us pause for a moment of silence.
Well, thank you all for coming. Our listeners and I are dying to know some hot button questions about recent Royal Society meeting that occurred. Thank you all for coming. Our listeners and I are dying to know some hot button questions about recent Royal Society meeting that occurred earlier this week regarding nominations for this year's Copley Medal recipient. But we know there are many other discussions along with the Copley Medal debate.
I thought several of my colleagues made some new and constructive proposals that will not only help the progression of science, but will benefit the society as well. I am very pleased to announce that my own proposal regarding public health was passed to the society.
Oh, great to hear. What will this proposal entail?
Implementing civil engineering, investing more time and money into public health and infrastructure to benefit all.
That's very interesting for a civil engineer to focus primarily on the public health. Why is it a public concern for you?
Actually, I think public health should be a concern for everyone, but it's especially near and dear to my heart, for my own son died of consumption at only 11 years old 10 years ago.
I'm so sorry to hear that. It's good news to hear that the society voted on your proposal. Mr. Weiland, or should I call you the Fox? What are some things you are happy or unhappy with during the debate?
Well, I enjoyed stirring up the pot during the debates and things like that. I was pretty upset about Sir Owens and the way that he acted during the debates, just because I was once his mentor, and it just pains me to see him act so foolishly. Like when he proposed his museum proposal for the natural history wing of the British Museum and wanted to name it after himself, but didn't come prepared with a proposal or anything like that. And he made it so informally. It just kind of made me sad that I apparently taught him nothing.
Wow. Sounds like you love to instigate, Mr. Henford. An interesting but less partisan role for the debate. Are there any things you feel passionately about that you didn't get to mention in the Royal Society discussion?
Well, yes, actually, I am dissatisfied with the Society's decision of Darwin as this year's Copley Medal recipient. I favored Alfred Russel Wallace instead of Darwin. Wallace has been a long-term colleague of Darwin in his scientific career and new discoveries regarding evolution. However, Wallace is more deserving of the Copley Medal for proposing the theory of evolution through natural selection in the first place. Without his proposal for natural selection, Darwin would have never came up with this idea, because it's not originally Darwin's idea, it's Wallace's. Wallace deserves to be recognized considering how the Society voted Darwin to win the medal for all of his work regarding natural selection and evolution, which would have never been able to possibly been conducted without Wallace's theory.
Well, it seems all of you have very interesting opinions on how the past meeting went with the Royal Society. You are all from very different scientific fields of study and different backgrounds. When Mr. Huxley proposed the efficacy of prayer, how did you all feel about the experimentation of prayer?
Well, I'm a religious theologist. Both are important aspects of my life. I do not agree with the stance that religion has no place within the scientific community. Our society is not ready for such a drastic change. I also see many problems with Mr. Huxley's proposal, such as how the experiment will be conducted correctly pertaining to the current scientific method. It is too subjective as of right now, but I think it's still a very interesting proposal.
I myself am a very strong supporter of the Church of England, and I would have liked to see this proposal pass. I have faith that the topic will be brought up again in further debates, and I think that science coexisting with religion will benefit in future meetings of the Royal Society.
I personally have my own reservations about Mr. Huxley. However, that is not my reason for not supporting his proposal. As a civil engineer, I feel it will be possible to conduct this experiment without any outside factors affecting the results. It would not adhere to the scientific method to follow him.
I agree that it's too subjective to make an experiment out of.
You, Mr. Hemford, held a small gathering of the Royal Society after the meeting. Is this a common practice amongst members of the society?
It was a party, yes, but also a gathering of intellectual opinions. The conversation reflected discussion within the previous meetings. It is beneficial for us society members to have gatherings outside of our professional duties and to discuss different perspectives in a respectful manner. I think this particular party benefited those who attended and did not have much time for those who didn't have time to speak in council discussion, and also any sort of heated debates that were held inside of our regular council meeting kind of mended those as well.
I agree that it's a great benefit for us members to gather with each other outside of the professional affairs of the days. We rely on each other in our professions, and I think that we too can rely on each other as friends. Having expertise in many different fields is beneficial when we need help with something on the table in our own projects and our own experiences as well.
Well, I would like to thank Mr. Hemford, Mr. Weiland, Mr. Landry, and Mr. Garfield for your appearances tonight on the Darwin Daily Show. Next week, we will have guest appearances from Mr. Huxley on new research found on the effects of prayer in cholera patients. Giddy.
You've got to be funny.
I'm gonna kill you.
Go.
No.
Oh shit, we can't.